process is relatively complicated, and I've got a little flow diagram here to give you an overview of how it works. Starting up here at the top, the President proposes a budget to Congress, which under the present circumstances is largely ignored. Then the House and Senate budget committees decide how they're going to divide up the funds very broadly for the different elements of the federal government, and then turn over a slice of the pie to the appropriations committees in the House of Representatives and the Senate for them to discuss and to decide how to appropriate those funds. Actually, the work is done by a House and Senate Appropriations Subcommittee, for example, that deals with the Department of Health and Human Services for the NIH. Then the entire House and Senate Appropriations Committees take the recommendations from all their subcommittees and come up with a proposal. These are considered by the House and Senate, which vote on them, and then typically they disagree, so that a House-Senate subcommittee, a conference committee, has to decide how to arbitrate the differences. Once that is done, then the House and the Senate separately vote on the same proposal, which is sent to the President for his or her signature. This provides funds for the various agencies, such as the National Institutes of Health, the National Science Foundation, the Department of Energy, and so on, which provide funds for doing research. Over here in this part of the flow diagram, we see how an investigator acquires funds from the federal government. First, the principal investigator writes a research proposal and submits it to the funding agencies such as NSF or NIH, which then assign the proposal to an initial review group or a study section. And what I've outlined here is the NIH procedure. It's a little different at NSF. The initial review group discusses the proposal along with 50 to 80 other proposals and rank orders them, gives them a priority score. Then the institute, staff, and the council of the various institutes look at the grants that have been reviewed for their applicants and decides on funding. As most of you probably know, it's not strictly, there's not strictly a cutoff between those who get funded and don't get funded in terms of priority scores, but many other things are taken into account in addition to priority scores when making a decision about funding. So once that is done, then hopefully money has come from the agencies to the NIH and the NSF, and they send some money to the institutions which set up a research account for the investigator. So that's how it works.